Next Benedict, a 16-year-old non-binary student at an Oklahoma school, was brutally beaten and died because they just wanted to live their life the way they wanted as their true self, and some people just couldn't fucking stand it. The school didn't do anything. This student was targeted, and then they were dead named and a whole bunch of other bullshit just because some people can't stand the fact that LGBTQ, non-binary, whatever category somebody falls under, it doesn't matter. We're all human, and if we're good people, if we're good inside, who fucking cares if somebody is non-binary? I do not understand the goddamn bullshit, the mind fuckery going on in people's heads where they gotta say they're living their lives, they want to go by certain pronouns, we have to target them, and we have to do this because of the holy book and a whole bunch of other bullshit that doesn't really fucking mean anything. So let me say this. Everybody involved in the periphery, anybody that knew about this shit and didn't do anything, school officials, the people that participated in said beating, those that might have known that the beating was going to happen, you bring up everybody on murder charges and you start making sure that this shit doesn't fucking happen. And let me just say in fucking closing right here that if you have such a problem with people living as their true selves, as long as they're good people, as long as they're good people deep inside, and we all have flaws. Everybody has goddamn flaws. There's no doubt about that, but love is love, and if you have a problem with somebody living as their true self, if you think this is about protecting the children, and oh, it's this LGBTQ, trans, non-binary, all this stuff's poison in their head, we have to teach them the word of God, we have to teach them the right way. You're not teaching them the right way because you're just teaching them to hate themselves, and you're teaching them not to understand what it is to be human. Let them live as they are. And if you disagree with the fact that anybody wants to live as non-binary, wants to live as their true selves, and if you disagree with the fact that people are gay, straight, lesbian, it doesn't matter, LGBTQ, doesn't matter, however they want to live, if you have a problem with that, get the fuck off this channel, get the fuck off this goddamn planet, pull your head out of your goddamn ass first, and then maybe, just maybe you'll realize that living your life with that much bigotry, that much narrow-mindedness is just going to poison you. So to everybody that has been pouring their heart out for Next Benedict and various others that suffer these unimaginable amounts of just hatred, bigotry, abuse, physical, mental, emotional, it's bullshit. Let people live as they are. That's all I gotta say right goddamn there. So yeah, if you disagree with anything that I'm fucking saying, I don't fucking goddamn care. I don't need any of you bigoted motherfuckers watching this goddamn thing. And none of you bigoted motherfuckers, quite frankly, deserve rights. So hopefully, maybe if you just happen to be parents, hopefully you treat your kids with a little more respect, or maybe your children ain't gonna be around when you're drooling on yourselves and you realize that the hatred and the bigotry and all the poisonous, toxic stuff that you felt is just going to infest your brain. It's going to turn you into a pool of jello, of jelly, of whatever, and you're going to realize that nobody wanted to ever fucking love you. So maybe just learn that love is love, and maybe learn that people should be able to live as their true selves, and if you have such a problem with it, I don't fucking care. Y'all can drop over, turn blue for all I care. Your bigotry is goddamn toxic. You're all toxic. Rest in peace, Next Benedict, and please, for the love of goddamn God, let's stop targeting people strictly because they're non-binary, because they're LGBTQ. Stop it. Just stop it. Get some fucking goddamn help, you fucking goddamn bigoted pieces of shit. Again, get everybody involved in this goddamn thing and charge them with murder charges. This is ridiculous. This shit needs to fucking stop. It needed to stop well before this. It needs to stop before people just feel like they can't even live as their true selves when they should be able to. So I'm John Rant with my review of AEW Dynamite from the Oklahoma City Thunder venue, the BOK Center, the Burger of King Center. I don't actually know what it goddamn means. I don't really care. Yeah. I had a lot of fun doing that. Now I'm all fired up, and now I get to talk about All Elite Wrestling's flagship show. It actually wasn't all that bad. They were in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There were moments I didn't like on this show, but they kind of kept some of the bullshit to a minimum. Anyway, so the building holds around 19,000 or so, and they had, according to WrestleTix, 3,200 to 3,400 people. Okay, they may just be using half the venue. That's what they used for the Climate Pledge Arena. That used to be the Key Arena when they ran Dynamite, the first Dynamite of 2023. And then Collision and WrestleDream had a combined crowd of maybe just 1,000 to 1,500 more than what they had for Dynamite. And I understand just using half the arena, and yeah, you have to have obstructed seats taken away, and you have to have certain amounts of, blocked off seats so people can go around, get ready, and prepare to get ready for the show. But this is an NBA-sized arena. Promote this goddamn shit, because the crowd was making as much noise as they could, but they were only in the lower bowl, and they weren't even all in the lower bowl. You could tell because they were sweeping, not really shooting on the side where the camera is. They were shooting all the lower bowl. And yeah, the crowd, I give credit to the people that were there. I hope that you had a great goddamn time there. I really do. So anyway, Wild Thing you make Tulsa sing, and Bill Watts is spinning in his grave, and he's not even dead yet. Wild Thing. FTR gets a pop. FTR against Mox and Claudio. Here comes the Dax. Here comes the Casher. It's like Demolition 2024. Badass. Yeah, if you get it, you get it. I can't help but say that. Thank you to the great Brian Last for that. Now I can't unhear it whenever Mox cuts a promo. And I thought his promos just started to sound weird to me. 20-minute time limit. This might have been one of the finest tag matches that they've had that didn't go the goddamn hour or almost an hour like FTR and Bullet Juice Club. That's my favorite match of maybe possibly this entire decade. So far, at least. That was just goddamn, it's up there. If it's not number one, it's up there. Now, they laid their shit in. They did some good stuff here. I will say that Mox at least kept the not selling to a minimum, at least for the most part. These guys are just laying some meat in here. Tony Schiavone, 2024 on commentary. Yeah, they did a step spot that I thought was going to lead to a blade job. It didn't. Shockingly, Mox did not bleed, which means maybe it's not a day that ends in Y. FTR being a little more heelish because the crowd was booing them, but then the crowd cheered them a little bit later because they're FTR, and how can you not cheer them? So, we get to 5 minutes left. A messy pile driver, by the way, before that to the outside. We go to break. The 15-minute call after Cash gets the hot tag. And they kept doing the calls. I like that. I would prefer they would do 5 minutes elapsed, 15 minutes remaining, like Gary Michael Capetta, the world's most dangerous wrestling announcer, used to do. Love Gary Michael Capetta, one of my favorite ring announcers ever on the Mount Rushmore, quite frankly, to me. But, they did a top rope. Thought it was going to be like a Doomsday Device variation. It really wasn't. Top rope clothesline, 1, 2, kick out. 3 minutes left. Boom, boom, boom. We're doing something. We get the Powerplex spot stopped because the knees got up. We get the swing, and then we get dueling sharpshooters. And then we get almost the time for the Shatter Machine, and then just as they get Mox up, the bell rings. And then the crowd boos, they're chanting 5 more minutes. Well, yeah, they just end up brawling. They just say, fuck it, we're just going to brawl. Feels like we're in the late 80s, UWF style. Taz, do you remember what happened to the UWF when it became the Universal Wrestling Federation? No, not to be confused with the Herb Abrams one. The one where Bill Watts, turned Mid-South into Universal Wrestling Federation. Remember that? Remember that stuff? They were out of business by April of 87. April or May of 87. I forget exactly. It was around that time. And yeah, with this crowd size, it kind of does feel like Universal Wrestling Federation, which I hate saying because they sold a good amount of tickets for the Big Business episode, and Revolution has been sold out for a while, or at least has been close to sold out. They need to run smaller venues, for God's sake. I mean, there had to have been a smaller venue to run. But anyway, yeah. They were brawling. They kept brawling. So we kept getting wrestlers that came out here. Butcher and Blade still work there. And I'm not, anybody that I knock here in this segment, I'm not meaning to knock like I don't want them to have a job. I forget about some people that are still working there. So, Renee is with Orange Cassidy and talks about the stuff that happened with him. He was apparently at a Rev Pro show recently. Marvez is with FTR and the BCC start brawling. They start jaw-jocking and they're going to do this. They're probably going to have a tornado tag match at Revolution. I'll give them credit. They actually were trying to do something here. It went a bit. I think they probably got to where they were having to heat something up really, really quickly for the pay-per-view because they were like, oh shit, we need a good tag match on the show because we're not going to have one in the main event. Orange Cassidy then took on Mike Bennett. I like Mike Bennett. I don't like this Undisputed Kingdom stuff, and Orange Cassidy won about 10 minutes. Again, I like Mike Bennett. I'm glad he got clean. He offers a lot of great motivational stuff on Twitter, and he is a very good pro wrestler. Then here's Strong and Taven. And then Jake Hager, Oklahoma's own, comes down. I wonder what Jake Hager thinks about that non-binary student being killed. He probably agreed because Jake Hager has his head up his ass. But Jake Hager, in all seriousness, gets a pop. And comes out, I guess he's a face. Why is Jake Hager here? He is somebody I will not. He has been getting paid by Tony Khan for close to 5 years, and he has provided fucking all. He liked that hat. He kept his shades on the whole goddamn time. Probably because he was drunk. And then Renee is with Cool Hand Luke and Ruby. They're going on a date. Why is this still happening? And then Flair arrives. Did Flair remember he was in Oklahoma? Does Flair know what Oklahoma is? Can Flair spell Oklahoma at this point? Flair is one of the greatest of all time, and Flair literally looks like if you blow, like even in his general direction, he will fall over. He is not healthy. You can tell. So, he wants to talk to the Bucks. Why would I want to deal with anything with the Bucks here? Because they're leaning into this shit way too late. Way too late. Because everybody wants to boo them anyway, and they don't really mean anything anymore. Shivani interviews Daniel Garcia, who comes out and he does the dance. I can't do the dance at all. He gets a big pop. He's fired up. He says all he needed was 3 seconds. I can identify. Moving on. And he's talking about all the stuff that he's done. You know, he's not done with Adam Copeland. He calls out Christian Cage. Here's Cage with Nick. And my God, Shayna Wayne. I love Nick. Love his mother. No, seriously, they're both awesome people. Nick's an awesome kid. Great young man. I'd say, once again, his attitude is he wants to learn. You can tell how great he has gotten, how far he has to go. His mother, very nice, very personal. One of the sweetest people you will ever get a chance to meet. If Nick's ever like at an indie show, his mother usually is there. I mean, I don't know about as much anymore because I don't know how many indies he does. But when I was at various indies, at indie shows Without a Cause, and also some Defy shows that I saw like on demand, but any of the Without a Cause shows I saw, she was always there. One of the sweetest women you will ever meet. And Lucha Switch is also there. I know it's Kill Switch, but you know what? I'm just going to mix up the names. And he talked about Daniel Garcia's dark childhood. And that, you know, your father's dead. This stuff's kind of getting a little, it's been going on for a bit. And yeah, I was getting some anger, but it's played out now. I mean, he was going for broke, but it feels hollow now. And Christian Cage is a hell of a promo. Daniel Garcia got upset. How about you come here and I will put you in the ground next to him. Nick Wayne comes down. He gets locked in whatever the Scorpion is or the Sharpshooter. And Lucha Switch tries to attack. And then Matt Menard, who is as loud as a goddamn sonic boom, shrieking guile noises. Kylie Minogue was Cammy in that movie, while Jean-Claude Van Damme was cracked out of his goddamn mind as Guile. Game over! Rest in peace, Raul Julia. So, yeah, Menard had a couple chairs, and there we are. Renee is with the faces of the main event, and I say faces in quotations because Hangman TA was there. RVD looks like he just really wanted to go home, and Hook was like, where's my bag of chips? And then Timeless Toni Storm took on Sydney Winnell, who's apparently from Tulsa. She didn't get to show off much, and Toni Storm was going to beat her with the butt bump and then the strong zero. But she went for the break a leg, the ankle lock, but then decided to go for the Venus de Milo, the trap that Deanna uses, and she won with that. Then Deanna took on Madison Rayne. I forgot Madison Rayne still worked there. Apparently she's an agent. I forgot that she wrestled, and evidently she did too, because this was not good. I'm sorry, this was not good. And I like Madison. She was very good in The Beautiful People. But, terrible rendition of that Marilyn Manson song. But Madison was good for a while, and maybe she's out of practice, maybe she was waiting for a bus, I don't know. Those strikes, if she had literally hit the air 5 feet from Deanna, she somehow would have connected more. And Madison took a terrible flatliner where she landed right on her goddamn head. I'm amazed she didn't break her neck. I hope she's okay. I hope that, it was just a stinger or whatever. She just KO'd herself, didn't give herself a concussion. And instead of just stopping the match, the doctor's like, wait, what? Oh, she says she's okay. Hey, Deanna, do something. So she did the break a leg, the ankle lock. And then Tony came down and got the ankle lock on. And the referee had to call Luther in the ring. Hey, Luther, you're earning a paycheck here still for some reason. Stop her. I can't stop her. So you stop her. This is when the show kind of ground to a halt. And I don't mind the storytelling between Deanna and Tony, but they're calling upon Luther. Hey, Mariah, get in there with your business casual, Shannon Tweed-like outfit. Google that one, kids. You will be upset. But there we go. The split screen with the black and white color. And they replayed the botch as the Inuit TurboTax move of the night. Good job. Darby is then near the White Castle of Fear, apparently, because there was a castle. I know it was a cave, but let's just work with me here. Him and Sting have photos. It was like photos of Sting's kids when Darby says, those kids, the kids there are about the same age as your kids. And Sting's all upset, and Sting got very emotional here. I encourage you guys to check this out. His dad apparently died a week before this. Rest in peace, Sting's dad. I actually don't know his name, but terrible. He certainly lived a long life, because if Sting is 64, then I would imagine his dad was at least mid-80s. Possibly 90, I don't know. Rest in peace. And you could tell Sting was upset about this, and now he's going to bring everything he has left to Revolution. I still wish the tag titles weren't on the line, because I think that would have added a little more drama, because now it's either the Bucks win, Sting loses his final match, which, yes, your final match, you go out on your back, or the Bucks lose their first big match back. Yeah, they had one match against Top Flight, but their first big match back, and I don't know. But Sting was very emotional here, and I really feel for him. Credit to him for powering through this, losing his dad recently. And Wardlow tells Shivani to get the hell out of the ring. And then Wardlow does a promo that might have worked better if it wasn't obvious that Wardlow has been with that company for about 4.5 years. Stop, start, stop, start. He had that feud with Joe and was off TV for a while. Now he's with the Kingdom, Undisputed Kingdom, and he's tired of being screwed over and over again. And yes, Wardlow has been screwed over and over. 2 years ago, he was getting a lot of people chanting his name and all that. And yeah, that's Tony Khan that screwed that up. Tony Khan screwed that up. Wardlow really should be directing his goddamn anger at him. It wasn't just that MJF won a new contract and it just so happened to coincide with the victory at Double or Nothing 2022. It wasn't just that. It wasn't just that. The biggest issue is the simple fact that they could have followed up on that, whether MJF had done that or not. And they didn't. They didn't, and Wardlow was cooled off within weeks. Within weeks. The whole thing with Smart Mark Sterling didn't work at all. He says, I'm the one and true AEW original megastar. He could have been. I'm not saying that Wardlow can't be utilized better, but it feels like it's too little too late. He's been there a while. The crowd shat all over this. They were not having it. And it's not that I think that they don't like Wardlow. They don't respect him. He's agile. He's a strong guy. He looks great. Does Wardlow mean anything? No. And that's not even his fault. But he beat the real world champion, and he's still falling apart. Being CM Punk. He beat up MJF, and we haven't seen MJF since. We might not see MJF again. I don't know what the hell's going on with MJF. Because it's been about almost 2 months now. And is he getting surgery? What is he going to do? I mean, it's up to him. It's his body. He can do what the hell he wants, but I hope he gets surgery and just relaxes. Maybe he's back by Wembley. But then he talks about Joe. The last time I was against Joe, I choked him out. Yeah, and what did that TNT title reign mean? What did any of those TNT title reigns mean? it's sad. He seemed like he was trying to convince himself more than anything, at least as far as a fan's perspective. And I respect Wardlow. I respect the hell out of the guy, because he came from really not a lot and has earned his keep in AEW. He just hasn't gotten a lot for it. He keeps talking about wanting to be the king of AEW, and tired of being scraps. He wants to eat like a king. This is no longer wrestling. This is war for anyone that wants to step up. And the Gangbang Scissor Gang are backstage after having a 6-man or a 12-man tag. It was 6-on-6 on Rampage, I think. I didn't watch. It's going to be Jay, Billy, and one of the Guns, the Collision Cowboys. I want to say right now, I'm probably not going to end up reviewing Collision. If I do, it's going to be delayed because I'm going to go watch a movie called Perfect Days a little bit later. Or a little bit later after I'm off work that day. And also Elimination Chamber is that day, so I'm probably going to watch that. And I may just watch Collision. Anyway, so Ospreay package, he's going to be at All In. He's going to be at Dynamite next week to hype up facing off against Konosuke Takeshita. I'm just going to say Takeshita. I can never say Konosuke right. So we're going to have a match called Meat Madness at the Revolution pay-per-view. What is that? A bunch of big beefy guys. Hobbs apparently is going to be in it, according to Callis. And stop throwing matches all of a sudden. Cut off a couple minutes off of some of these matches and maybe have a video package. Hey, Tony Khan's announced we're going to have this. Here's this video package to explain what it is. Oh, we don't want to do that? Oh, okay. Renee, run from Callis. Run far away. Callis did call Sammy a cuck. I don't think Callis really should be talking about how, other men are in regards to women or whatever when Callis has a lot of skeletons in his closet. Hook or VD, Hook and RVD, or Hook and RVD, along with Hangman TA, took on Joe and Swerve when he drives. Yes, he swerves when he drives, and if you drive the Mid-South run, you will swerve when you drive. Also, Mid-South Wrestling has not been around for almost 40 years, so probably don't try to drive that route. Brian Cage was also there, the Swolverine. Creative. Prince Nana was there. Referee Aubrey, and they kept announcing throughout the show, but especially during this, we have a 5-minute overrun. They went to about 6 or 7 minutes on the overrun. Learn to hit your time cues. See, my DVR records it, but some people's don't. So, the crowd was into this. Cage can do some impressive shit. I've seen everything that I need to see from him. RVD gets the 5-star frog splash stopped. We get a second break with 6 minutes left. We get a melee. I mean, Hangman was hitting some usual stuff. He was attacking Swerve, attacking the weak point for massive damage. We get a announcer's table bomb to Swerve. He tells him to stay down. Hangman is the heel in this whole goddamn thing, by the way. Hangman jammed his knee or his ankle on jumping out of a muscle buster. I hope he's all right. I hope he was just selling, because if he's actually legit hurt, that's dangerous. And if he can get through the 3-way, okay, but then maybe have him take the pin, and he can take some time off. Maybe if Tony Khan actually would have a proper training school and tell people to stop doing so much goddamn stupid shit all the time, you wouldn't have so many people injured. So anyway, Hook throws Joe. That was impressive. Hello, Joe. RVD gets choked out by Samoa Joe, and there we are. I will be ordering Revolution, but my enthusiasm for some of that card is kind of 50-50. I'm encouraged by some of it, but I don't know. That being said, yeah, I stand by everything I said in the intro right there. I'm just going to leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rentlin. I'll see you soon.